Hello, my name is Darren McGrady and I'm the Royal Chef. Why the Royal Chef? Well, because I spent 11 years as personal chef to the Queen of England and then 4 years as private chef to Princess Diana. The 11 years I spent working for the Queen at Buckingham Palace, I got to travel around the world to Windsor Castle, to Balmoral Castle, and even on the Royal Yacht Britannia. See the picture behind me? I had some amazing times there, and just last year we did a trip to London which was so fantastic. We had such a fabulous time that in 2009 I'm doing another tour, a royal tour to Edinburgh, Scotland. I wanted to do a royal tour to Edinburgh because not only does it have Holyrood Palace, where we go every year with the Queen and spend a week there doing garden parties and investitures. There's so much history in Edinburgh, as we'll be able to tour Princes Street and up to Edinburgh Castle as well. But the Royal Yacht Britannia is in Edinburgh now, just in a place called Leith, and we get to tour the Royal Yacht Britannia. I'm so looking forward to doing that. There's so much history there. And it's a 5-day trip, the same as the one we did last year. And in this 5 days, there's so much packed in there. Oh my goodness, you'll want a break after you've done it. On day one, when everyone arrives, we'll all meet together for breakfast, and that's when we can all get to know each other. Then we're going to head off to Holyrood Palace. Every year I go to Holyrood with the Queen, as I said, and Holyrood Palace was so much fun. There's so much history there as we tour the palace, and then hopefully we'll be there in time to see changing of the guard too, with those Scottish bagpipes. After we've toured the palace, I can show you where my room was and show you the kitchen, and I'm going to bring along some personal memorabilia too, to show you little bits and pieces of my time at Holyrood. In the afternoon, you get to tour Princes Street and do a little shopping. Go to Jenner's. Jenner's, if you don't know Edinburgh, Jenner's is like the Harrods of Scotland. And that's where you can shop for hours and hours. Of course, if you don't want to do that, you can stay with me and we'll go and do a little bit more foodie hunting for the afternoon. And then we're out to dinner in the evening. Day 2's going to be a full action-packed day, and I'm really looking forward to this one. We get up really early, we have breakfast, a real British English breakfast, and maybe some black pudding. Oh, they have white pudding in Scotland, you've got to have some of that too. Some white pudding for breakfast. From there we're off to the Edinburgh Farmers Market. You'll be seeing haggids, neeps and tatties, smoked haddock, kippers, kedgeree, bannocks. See, what are all these things? What are bannock buns? What's colcannon? Well, we'll show you at the market and hopefully we'll get to sample them too. The afternoon is the trip to the Royal Yacht Britannia. Now this I can't wait for. The 11 years I was with the Queen, I went to Australia, to New Zealand. There's nothing that makes you feel more proud, more British, more patriotic than sailing into harbour on the Royal Yacht Britannia when I'm cooking in those galleys, preparing royal lunch, and the Royal Marines Band are up on deck playing A Life on the Ocean Wave and Rule Britannia. We get to... No, I didn't. Did I tell you that when we used to get the food, we'd have to go down 3 flights of stairs just to the refrigerator? I'll be able to show you on the Royal Yacht Britannia. I'll be able to show you the tiny galley where I used to prepare dinner for 56 people. For President Reagan, President Ford. I cooked for 2 US presidents on there. And gosh, so many kings and queens. There's so much to talk about the Royal Yacht Britannia. You won't be able to shut me up on this trip. This is just going to be the most fabulous day. And then in the evening, the Edinburgh Festival Theatre. And then once we get back to the hotel, we'll sit and talk about the amazing day we've had and share photographs and stories. Day 3's an early start as well. We get up early, we have breakfast together, and then head off to the Edinburgh Food Festival. This is going to be a really exciting event, and I can't tell you too much about this yet because we're still in planning stages, but I've got some great plans for this one, and you'll be amazed. You'll be amazed, I promise you. Hey, if you go for a British Sunday lunch, I'll come and join you, okay? After that, we're going to jump on the coach. When you've had a British Sunday lunch, there's nothing better than a little fall asleep. So we'll be able to fall asleep while we head off to Glamis Castle. Not Glamis Castle, as they say in all these tour guides and things. It's Glamis Castle. It's where Queen Elizabeth, the Queen Mother, was born. A huge castle about the size of Balmoral Castle up in Scotland. If you don't fall asleep, you'll just be able to enjoy the countryside on this little 1-hour trip out to Glamis. When we get to Glamis, again, we do a tour. You get to see all of the history on the Queen Mother's birthplace at Glamis, and then go into the little food store. You'll be able to shop for some goodies to take home, some little keepsakes in the gift shop. And then the evening's free when we get back to Edinburgh. The evening's free to go ahead and do some more shopping. I think most of you might want to sleep, ready for the next day. The pipes. Oh, I love the pipes. I get goosebumps every time I hear the bagpipes. It reminds me so much of my 11 years with the royal family when we used to travel to Balmoral Castle and up to the Palace of Holyrood House. Holyrood, where the chefs would finish breakfast as quick as they could at 9 o'clock in the morning and rush outside and all line up and watch the Royal Scots Dragoon Guards or whoever the honour guard were coming down the hill to do the changing of the guard. This day though, day 4, it's going to be so incredible. It's going to be all about the pipes. In the evening, we get to go to the Edinburgh Military Tattoo at Edinburgh Castle, and it's the most amazing example of British pomp and pageantry you'll ever see. Don't forget to bring your video cameras to this one. There'll be marching bands and the Lone Piper right up in the very top of the castle. As I said, you get goosebumps. This will be something you'll take away from Edinburgh and you'll remember forever. But that's not all we're doing that day. We get to tour Edinburgh's antique markets. They're all together in the Grass Market. And if you're not into collecting antiques, I will be, because I collect antique copper pans and I know we're going to find some real bargains there. We can stop by Cook's Bookshop. It's owned by Clarissa Dixon Wright. Remember, one of the 2 fat ladies from the Food Network? Day 5, I get to cook for you. We're going straight to the Edinburgh School of Food and Wine and we'll prepare a 3-course meal. All of you can come into the kitchen and we'll cook a meal together. We'll use local produce and we'll create a gourmet 3-course meal, and I can teach you techniques and show you how to whisk properly and how to stir and how to cut, techniques with a knife, and we'll just chat and visit and enjoy our time in the kitchen. And afterwards we'll sit down with a glass of wine or maybe even another wee dram of whiskey and enjoy that meal. After the meal we're on the coach and off to Balathy House Hotel. Balathy House, if you've read my book Eating Royally, is where I started cooking. It's where I got inspired to cook. Balathy is in Perthshire. It's on the banks of the River Tay, and to just sit and read a book and listen to the ripple of the water and watch the salmon jump is so relaxing. It's paradise on earth just to enjoy that last night at Balathy House, and that's where we're going to have our finale dinner too. A gourmet 3-course meal with all local produce, game and everything else on the menu, and who knows, we may have another little surprise waiting for you there. It's our last night, we've got to have a big surprise. I can't wait to do this trip. I can't wait for every single part of it. It's going to be a fabulous trip. It's going to be even more successful than our trip last year to London. If you've got time and you want to come along on this one, if you really want to see Edinburgh, if you want to see Scotland, not just from a royal point of view, not just from a British point of view or from the history side of it, but to come along and have a fabulous time, this is the trip to do for you. I'll see you in Edinburgh.
Tour dates are August 7th through 12th, 2009. For more information, contact South Lake Travel, Karen Dawson, 817-657-9866, kdawson@southlake-travel.com.